Steven Crowder has been banned off of YouTube after getting 2 community guideline strikes only a month or so after leaving to go to Rumble, after he signed an exclusive deal for Mug Club and his exclusive streams to be only on Rumble, no longer streaming on YouTube for 2 hours, only doing 1 hour on YouTube. I think he's been doing that for a long time, but previously he would leave YouTube after the first hour and go to his own website in Mug Club. Now he's going over to Rumble, which is a direct competitor to YouTube, which is trying to do a lot of the things that YouTube is doing, trying to go against a lot of things that YouTube is doing and do the things that YouTube is doing wrong, such as striking people down for things that they shouldn't be struck down for. Steven Crowder tweets this out. These 2 YouTube strikes are exactly what I warned against. The left can enact policy to transition your children and put them on a stripper pole. And when one of their deranged dogmatics murders your children, you best not speak about it. I refuse to be quiet. See you on Rumble. So, props to Steven Crowder, man. Props to Steven Crowder. I know that there was a huge feud with, Ben Shapiro versus, the Daily Wire as a whole, really mad. Walsh, Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, all of them versus Steven Crowder because of their ideologies, because of how they think of how you should run a business when it comes to this space. At the end of the day, Steven Crowder is madly successful. He has all the money that he could ever ask for. And I don't think he really lives a lifestyle that really needs a lot of money. Obviously, he probably has a pretty nice house. I don't really know. He probably has a pretty nice car. I don't really know. Maybe he drives a Honda Civic for all I know. But he doesn't have Lamborghinis. He doesn't have Bugattis. He doesn't have big, gigantic mansions in the Hollywood Hills. But he probably does have a pretty nice house because he makes a good bit of money. But he doesn't live a lifestyle where he needs to rake in millions and millions and millions and millions. He just doesn't. Whereas the Daily Wire exists, companies, corporations exist, not just the Daily Wire, all of them, who make money. There's nothing wrong with that. So while you can take sides, while you can say Steven Crowder is the much more noble one in this situation, you have to also understand where the Daily Wire is coming from. Whereas if one of their people who they sign to bring in a profit, because like I said, they exist to make profit. If one of the people who they sign, let's say Brett Cooper, Candace Owens, Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh, whoever it is, if one of them get banned, they sign them to bring in a percentage of the profit that they bring in from YouTube. They're taking a percentage of the AdSense money, of the ad revenue that they're making from YouTube. So if they get banned and they lose all of that revenue, that's where most of the money is coming from the Daily Wire signing these creators. So if they lose their main stream of income, if the Daily Wire loses their main influx of money that they're getting from those creators that they are paying, then what are they expected to do? Just hand out free money? Like if Matt Walsh got banned off of YouTube, is he supposed to just get the same amount of money from the Daily Wire, even though he's bringing in a very small percentage of what he was giving previously? Like, I understand that you don't want to play into big tech's agenda. I understand that big tech is run by the left and you don't want to play within their rules and everything like that. But at the end of the day, the Daily Wire does exist to make money. Now, if Steven Crowder wants to do what he's been doing recently and just say, F the money, I'm trying to spread a good message, that's very noble. And I will support him 100%. I support him in that. I'll support him much more than I support the Daily Wire, because I think that is a very noble and also a very difficult way to go. But at the end of the day, like I said, it is very noble and I'll support him, as much as I can. But here is why Steven Crowder got these strikes from YouTube. It's pretty wild. I think that they're probably targeting him. I think they probably want to take him down. Maybe because he left to go to Rumble. I'm not sure exactly why, but they've been targeting him for a long time. And it does seem like this is a little bit insane what he's being targeted for here. It does seem a little bit out there that he'd be targeted for this. Crowder reacts to 13-year-old drag performer twerking on stage. I guarantee you that if someone posted the original video of that channel wouldn't be striked. That video wouldn't be taken down. I guarantee that. Maybe it's because it's Steven Crowder and the Hodge twins in the same video together and a 13-year-old drag performer twerking on stage, which is absolutely just disgusting, by the way. All this stuff, nowadays when I see stuff like this, man, it doesn't even anger me anymore. Like when I saw the Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light commercial yesterday when I did that video, it doesn't even anger me anymore. It doesn't infuriate me. It just deflates me, dude. It just deflates all the energy that I have. It drains all the energy that I have from my body. Seeing stuff like 13-year-old drag performer twerking on stage. And then, like I said, I guarantee that the original video doesn't get taken down off YouTube. But if Steven Crowder reacts to it, that's when it gets taken down. When Steven Crowder tries to signal boost it and point out why this is disgusting, that's when it gets taken down. But if it just exists on its own, that's no issue. If you just have a YouTube video of a 13-year-old twerking on stage, there's no issue with that. But when Steven Crowder reacts to it, that's where the issue comes in. When Steven Crowder starts to point out the hypocrisy and why this is disgusting, That's when it comes in, man. That's when the bans start coming. That's when the copyright strike or the community guideline strikes start coming in. This person says they're basically proving the obvious point that child drag is harmful to children. Go figure. They are. They're indirectly doing that. They're banning that. They're banning Steven Crowder for reacting to that. Admitting that it is harmful, admitting that it shouldn't be out there. And like I said, I guarantee you they're not going to ban the original. Here is the one of 3 community guideline strikes. Strike on March 31st and March 30th of 2021. So there's 2 strikes. And they say the policy that he went against for the strike on March 31st is child safety. He got a strike for child safety for reacting to a child twerking on stage. You would think that if that's a threat to child safety, they would go after that a little bit more vigorously. That a lot of these higher ups, a lot of these people who are running big tech that have the resources to, would try to take that stuff down off of their own platforms at the very least. Maybe Elon Musk would go after that on Twitter. Maybe the new CEO of YouTube would go after that on YouTube. But no, they won't do that. They'll only go after the right-wing creators who are reacting to this stuff and pointing out the hypocrisy, pointing out why this stuff is disgusting. It's disgusting in itself. The fact that he's getting community guideline strikes for this kind of stuff, man. Like if you just take out the Crowder reacts part, Crowder reacts too. If you take that part out of this video title, I guarantee you it gets no attention from YouTube. There's no strike at all. It's just 13-year-old drag performer twerking on stage. Totally fine. Totally fine. It stays up on YouTube. It stays up on Twitter. It stays up on everything. But as soon as you add in Crowder reacts or Ben Shapiro reacts or Matt Walsh reacts, I mean, Steven Crowder is definitely the one that gets targeted the most. Because, Matt Walsh and them, they make some pretty out there videos. They trash on people like Dylan Mulvaney and other transgenders out there quite a bit. They go pretty hard on them, as do I. I just don't have as big of a platform. So you would think that people out there like Matt Walsh, like Ben Shapiro, even people like Tim Pool, whenever they go pretty hard on certain people, you would think that they would get strikes too if Steven Crowder is getting attacked like this. But they really just don't. Nobody really gets it as bad as Steven Crowder, whatever that is. Let me know in the comments why you think that is. Do you think that it's because he recently signed a deal with Rumble and, YouTube is feeling a little bit threatened by Rumble? Or why do you think that is? Because like I said earlier, it was kind of happening even before Rumble. Even before Rumble existed, for one, and before Steven Crowder went over to Rumble. Steven Crowder was being targeted by YouTube and other social media platforms as well as Twitter. I really think it's insane that YouTube is taking videos down of Steven Crowder reacting to 13-year-olds twerking, but they won't do it whenever it's just the 13-year-old twerking and Steven Crowder's not reacting to it. Let's check out this video from Steven Crowder on the situation.
Is with a heavy heart that I'm just kidding. We have 2 strikes on YouTube, so we are suspended for 2 weeks. We're actually going to do a segment. You can't say that on YouTube today. Explain to you the concerted effort to eliminate their competition in Rumble. Please help share it so people know. But we're also going to be giving you everything on the Trump indictment. There's a lot of misinformation out there. Also, $800 million in reparations for black Californians, a non-slave state. Nick DiPaolo's in 3rd chair. I'm sure he'll have fun with that. Is with a
So yeah, go check out that stream if you haven't watched it already. It's probably going to be a good one. I haven't watched it myself yet, but I already know Steven Crowder normally does some really good work. I really do enjoy his streams lately as well. I feel like he stepped it up to a new level. They're a lot more funny. Maybe it's because he took a good bit of a break and now it's more fresh again. But I do feel like the streams have been stepping up to a whole new level. They're definitely stepping up in viewership, and I'm really happy for him. I'm glad that all those things are happening because, like I said earlier, if you are going to go down the route that he's claiming he's going to go down, the much more noble way where he's not worried as much about making money, about making profit, more about spreading the correct message and winning the war. Winning the war, the good side, actually getting some wins when it comes to this culture war. I'll definitely be behind him the entire way. But I'm also going to support the Daily Wire. I understand that when you're running a business on the internet, money is a big part of making profit, right? You're going to have that those YouTubers stay on the platform that's bringing in the most amount of money, probably 90 to 95% of their revenue. Whenever they get banned and you take away, let's just say it's 80% of their revenue, obviously something has to change within that deal. You have to be able to, it's not even punishing them, it's just making the deal fair for both sides. Because if they get banned off the platform that they were signed to the Daily Wire for, you're signed to the Daily Wire to bring in that YouTube revenue. If that YouTube revenue goes away, it's just totally unfair for the Daily Wire to have to continue to pay and just bleed money. It just doesn't make much sense. So I understand Steven Crowder's side. I understand the Daily Wire's side. Let me know what you guys think in this whole situation about Steven Crowder getting banned, getting those 2 community guideline strikes. What do you guys think about that entire situation?